back, my twin souls. Welcome to Larisa Lili Temperance. Today, I don't know why every Saturday I'm in this mode, but welcome back, my twin souls. Today we're doing the energy check-in of the twin flames. We're going to focus on the journey today because I find this message extremely strong coming towards me right now. And with the energies, all of the energy cosmos shifts, I think people need to understand we are definitely experiencing many different elevations and shifts in timelines within ourselves. And really, it's an internal journey. And Spirit definitely has been stressing that for me. I think I'm going to do some mirroring because of the way Spirit gave me the channel message. And then I actually took my Divine Masculine, which you guys, I haven't pulled this deck in a long time, but this is Divine Masculine Energy Oracle card from Flames of Alchemy. And the reason I decided to pull this is because I truly feel we're in a lot of masculine energy right now, both masculine and the feminine, where we're transmuting a lot of the masculine energy within. And so I took some mirroring energies here. I have the energies of where the masculines are within their energy, and here I have where the feminines are in their masculine energy. And obviously I'm not surprised by the energy, so we're going to get into the channel message because then it gets into it, because I had started channeling and I had started writing what I was feeling. And then towards the end of my channeling, right here, then I was called to this deck, and then I wanted to see the separation. And so then I got this portion of the channeling, and then it's one of those things you just have to listen to Spirit. And I know where this is going. So let's just begin. This is going to kind of be a triggering reading. I'm going to call it for what it is for the feminines, because this is going to obviously tap into masculine energy within. And if you guys been watching me for some time, and those, I have mentioned it in the early stages of my channel, but I have strong masculine energy, which is why it's easy for me to tap into masculine energies. And usually a lot of the feminines who have strong masculine energy, those are my favorite readers to watch. But unfortunately, I've had two of my favorite readers no longer serve the twin flame community anymore, or just the collective, overall the collective. And that's another conversation. But I do want to point out that's why good readers always leave. And then it was really becomes very frustrating, because to really guide the community, the twins, you really do need genuine readers. And so I feel this is why the shift has to take place, because I know my channel has been growing extremely slow. I do well in my collective readings because my focus is always going to be the collective, because that's what we're here to do. But I also do these readings to give the guidance, because I am a twin, and because you can't do this journey alone. You can't. But you need genuine guidance out there, and this is why I do this once a week, because I don't believe in the codependent energy that's out there, where they need to update you every day, where they need to keep you in the limbo of we're transmuting, and you have to let your frequency transmute along the transmitting of the energy. So let's get into it, because I feel this is going to be important messages for the next couple of weeks that I got while I was channeling the messages. So this to me, this energy I'm picking up is like a to be continued, and I'm only going to be able to focus on what I can focus today, because obviously I don't want to make these readings extremely long. But I'm going to focus on what I'm focusing today, and then we'll continue in the next few weeks of what I'm continuing to pick up, because I'm sure it's going to be given to me and like layers of it. So I also okay, let me just start with this piece here, because I'm going to get into a story that has to also do with the energies. So bear with me, my divine feminines and divine masculines, if you're watching, because all of this really ties into what's coming and what we're experiencing and what needs to be transmitted and transmuted. So right now the journey is to understand masculine and feminine energy. Because masculine energy, there's a need to find the balance, and that there's a need for understanding right now, because as it's transitioning and changing in timelines, there's a shift, and so now we can't stay stuck. You just can't. You have to be mindful of who you're listening to. So to understand masculine and feminine energy, I'm going to tell you where the masculine is and what the feminine energy is. Very sure of what our healed energies are individually, and how we're supposed to balance that within ourselves, right? So masculine energy is always mission focused, planning, right? Leading, decision making, supporting, protecting, and giving. That's strong masculine energy. Embodying strong, healthy masculine energy. To embody strong feminine energy, you're love focused, you're expressive, you're magnetic, you're more in the feeling and intuition, your softness and healing, and my goodness, I have deceptive here. I don't know where I got this. Interesting. This probably shouldn't be here. I don't know. I probably got a different thought here. So anyways, healing, right? So we have healing, and I'll correct that in another reading, I think, because I feel like I got it for some reason and I can't at this very moment get it in my mind. But anyways, all of these energies here, receptive. I'm sorry, feminines. They're my own little chicken scratch. You guys have no idea how fast I write this. So it's receptive. Okay, so we're more on, which makes sense, receiving end. There we go. I thought I was like, did I write deceptive? Okay, which is honestly, I'm sure that channel message came for a reason. So masculine and feminine energies, these are healed energies. And I'm going to give you a story of what I experienced this week in my company. For those who don't know, I work for corporate. I am a finance manager. I am a number 2 in my company of a startup where we're building up a company right now, and I'm building up a team. It's just myself and the VP of finance as well in the whole accounting team. And so there's a lot of operations and flows that are being set up and created. This company's been running, like, I want to say since 2015, but it's transitioned and it's generating different revenue. So it's completely pivoted to a different avenue, which has only been, I would say, going maybe 2 years now. And so we had an incident with payroll. I handle payroll. Well, as you can see, I hold a very masculine role. And so there's a lot of planning, right? All of my role is all of this: mission focused, planning, leading, decision making, supporting, protecting, and giving. That's all I do in my job. So I'm very always embodying this masculine energy more than anything. This channel allows me to be on my feminine energy, but having my balance allows me to really be very good at what I do. I was doing payroll. I've never done payroll. In the 20 years I've been doing my career, I've never had to really be the processor. Usually payroll is outsourced. But when you're startup, that's just how it happens. Usually you have a small group. It's easy to manage within the finance team. And so things are more manageable. But we're expanding and we've had a lot of growth in the company. And it's getting a little too much on the flow of the information. So we had an incident where policies guide is constantly changing, and in order to keep staff before and to actually get hiring, especially to to have anyone join on a startup company, for our customer service, we had a policy before where on holidays we would pay them time, and it's usually time and a half, but we were paying 2 2 days basically and a half. So they get 2.5 versus 1.5. And so that policy had transitioned a few months ago, and so we had our holiday. And so already we realized the formula in our spreadsheet of processing payroll, the 2.5 never transitioned. So we were overpaying staff at this point against the policy that was supposed to be at a 1.5. So there was now a dispute of whether to pay the observed holiday and the holiday itself. And bear with me, feminines, with this story. Yes, this is an extremely masculine. I want you guys to see the differences of what masculine energy is. It's boring. It's a lot of decision making. So this story really matches to what masculines experience, and you have to empathize and understand. So now the decision was to whether pay for observed or holiday itself. There was a decision beyond the conversation where I was in it, and they decided it was going to be paying observed holiday, those who worked observed holiday and not the holiday. And companies have their say on how to drive the policy. That is the company's policy. It can change, it's the company's decision. Obviously you have to do a lot of budget planning, and financially that payroll is over 50% of a company's spending. So that's something that always needs to be managed because it's the highest spending of the budget to begin with. So we decide on the observed. Came the Juneteenth holiday, and we paid the observed holiday and not the holiday. Then the dispute of not understanding my boss forgot to send out the email and let everybody know that we made the mistake on the policy of paying 2.5. So we had to also adjust for Memorial Day of the overpayment during Juneteenth. So there was 2 holiday mistakes. Memorial Day we paid 2.5, and then we corrected the 2.5 on the week of the holiday of Juneteenth, which the net effect was what had everybody who was originally mistaken before. So the net effect made everybody confused who was so they see these adjustments, right? It's about 35 staffs. They see the adjustments, and now I'm being blasted with emails directly from these employees where they don't understand the calculation to their hours. So the mistake that was made was that the decision of what this adjustment was made, but their manager, the team leaders and their manager above them never communicated that the adjustment was going to be made. Now it was understood, and my boss forgot to send out that language as well to communicate that. So there was a lot of misunderstandings, and of course here you are as an employee, you get a net effect on your balance, and you're like, what happened? I thought I was going to get paid this. Why is this adjustment? So now you have to rebuild trust here, because now they don't understand if we pay them correctly. Long story short, all these corrections, I've been blasted with emails since of having to recalculate corrections and explain, and it's been really crazy. We have a meeting because now we have this week where it ends on a holiday, and obviously we're not paying the holiday on this payroll. I just did payroll, and I had to make some corrections other than, because not only are the team leaders sometimes they forget to pay their staff PTO. There's so many, you guys, so many incidences here, but it's normal. It's normal. It's just aligning. It just is what it is, right? Everyone's learning. It's a learning curve for everyone. But what I want to point out is that in this conversation, so here I am. I've already been at these emails for a while. So all of a sudden, the team leaders want to have a meeting and talk about what happened, the adjustments, the holiday adjustments. Meanwhile, I'm here thinking the confusion of the 2.5 and the 1.5. When this meeting starts, I'm explaining that, but then it goes like they're expressing different calculations. And then we realized that there was a confusion of which holiday to pay, the observed or the holiday. And I'm like, how are we still confused about this? So they communicated themselves. I don't know who decided to tell some of the employees that holiday was going to get paid. They were going to get paid for holiday, and some were going to get paid for observe. I have no idea where that, it's like that poor game of telephone, where that communication got misaligned. That's a completely different conversation. First of all, the fact that we're even having it after the holiday already passed and we already paid people. To have that misunderstanding on a management level is not really good. But it happens, okay, because something got miscommunicated. And I'm okay with that. It's a learning curve. Again, startups are like that. We have to embrace the learning curve, right? That's the supporting, right? The supporting of the masculine, the leading. That's where I have to be the leading. But after that meeting, anyways, when we had the meeting, one of the team leaders were really upset, and then all of a sudden pretty much coming at my boss of how it wasn't communicated properly, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, this conversation was had between him and their boss, who was also present in the meeting. What I want to point out is that I had to stay quiet because at this point I was not in that conversation. But my boss, right, we're talking masculine energy here. He had, there was a miscommunication on his behalf, yes, but it was also spoken to with the other manager who was also in the meeting. And so this manager allowed her staff to pretty much attack, and make my boss feel like he really miscommunicated. And that, I thought that was insane, because these were two people who were in the same conversation, the same communication. Not once did this feminine energy take responsibility or accountability of the miscommunication with her team leaders. And she not once said, I'm sorry, you guys, this was a miscommunication between myself. I thought, so-and-so also said, we decided on this. None of that was said. My boss took all the fault and just surrendered and just kind of like said, I'm sorry, and apologized, and we'll just do better. And that's pretty much his attitude towards it. Now, he speaks to me after this meeting, and he calls me out, saying that I had started the meeting and that the choice of word that I used, because the choice of word I used was make sense. It makes sense. I said something and I said it 3 times that it just makes sense. I said something like that. And I think I say this all the time. It's just a word I use all the time. I constantly say it doesn't make sense. It's just me with reaffirming, right? And then just making sure I'm at a place of understanding. He actually said I came across condescending. Let's think about that. Condescending, because I use this choice of words. So the reason I bring this whole example here is he did not point out the lack of integrity of the other feminine energy involved, where the mission here, and this is the difference between how I view, and we straightened out the conversation. I was fine. I really didn't care, because at the end of the day, I know I'm very balanced within myself. Masculine energy has to be mission focused, and apologizing for something that was not really his fault. There was a lack of communication, but he took ownership and still was going to be collaborative, and that I understand. But the other manager took 0 ownership, 0 accountability. And what was only focused here, the fact that I was even pointed out that I used a word, I was like, that's besides the point, because my expectation is that I'm speaking to other leading managers. This is a meeting of managers, again, who should all be in the same role. A reason I'm pointing this out is because the imbalance in the world right now, and the collective of masculine healed, understanding how to bring balance within ourselves and our emotions when we're in positions of leadership, and then when we're in positions of having to balance our energies within that leadership role, right? And so he also took a stance on his masculine energy and kind of, gave in and apologized. And I think that was good because he showed compassion. But I also think this was a learning curve and an opportunity to also be in that leading role and also holding the other manager accountable for the conversation, which was never taken. And so the sensitivity that he had to back down on, I want to point that out because that's actually a lot of masculines tend to do that. Why? Because the liability and the repercussions that if he did speak up would be an issue. And that's where the issue lies. And so that's how corporate can become toxic. But we're looking at it on a very big perspective of how anything could become toxic within our imbalance, right? So all that, feminines, I know the story was long, but I think it's extremely important because that is the healing that needs to take place when we're in our energy. That's how we show up on the outside world here. And it's every day we're putting this into practice and shifting the focus of this twin flame journey. People put it too much about love. No, this is that's why I say understanding your masculine and feminine energy. This is you coming to an understanding on how you show up in the world and the influence and the mirror that we are every day. Then I want to continue here. So the twins here, the shifts that are happening right now is truly difficult energies of soul alignment. So what's happening is a lot of soul alignment. And this is integration of yourself and your higher soul and soul purpose, authenticity. And, I took that challenge as a soul alignment, right? This was an integration stage where that was a true test of how balanced I was and how I was going to react to my boss. Mind you, he is 10 years younger than I am. So it's okay for him. I'm leaving him room for growth. I know he didn't mean it. And he was very, he didn't mean it in that way to really make me feel any type of way. But I have to understand that 10-year gap of room for growth that we have between each other, because I'm 40, he's 30. And I've been having these conversations longer than he has. I've been in these operations longer than he has. So I've seen more. He has to catch up to me in that sense. So I have to allow him for that room for growth in that sense. And that was my test there, right? Because I can't take it personally and be a distorted feminine and be like, how dare you speak to me and say I'm condescending? No, that can't happen, because the truth is the masculines need room for growth, right? And so he needs room for growth. And so this integration between our authenticity, this is about our own integration. Twins are also, a lot of twins are experiencing heart opening. And this is a constant thing that's happening within the twins, a heart opening, right? Energy of love within, filling up with love, forgiveness, and compassion. This heart opening, this is my space of understanding, where I had to actually be in an energy of love, forgiveness, and compassion, and kind of just be in an understanding space with my peers of where everyone's at, one in their experience, in their life, right? Because this is an expansive to view things from a heart chakra, from a heart opened heart, means you have to have a very, wide range of perspective and understanding and compassion towards the environment you're in and where you're aligned at. So the other thing twins are experiencing is deepening relationships to self and learning your own soul's language and what motivates you and brings you joy. This is redefining many experiences and coming to a deeper awareness of our participation. And they made me underline that a lot. Participation, you guys, is very important. So first off, there were many things in here. Deepening relationship to self. Learning your own soul's language is one thing. Now you're learning yourself. You're learning what resonates, what feels right, what doesn't feel right. And again, your soul's language is the balance of the masculine and feminine energy. So you have to understand how you're mission focused, but also how you're love focused, how you're in your planning energy, but also expressive, and how you express yourself, how you're leading, but also you're magnetizing in a way where people are receptive, right? Because you're constantly being receptive. How you're in the decision making, right? But feeling and intuition, also coming from empathic and understanding, which is why this whole story I told you has a lot to do with how the balance of the energy is. I have to be empathic and understanding, being supportive and coming in with softness. Yeah, I'm supporting the team. I understand the growth. I understand the growth of my boss and the growth, the learning curve within our gaps and our years of experience. I also have to come with softness and protecting and healing. This protecting and healing is one, my leadership within the environment, and also how to heal, which healing you have to understand how you're assisting in the healing of the environment. And in this case, I'm protecting the staff. My mission was to make sure the staff got paid. So all the noise that was happening with people are like mad, what holiday, and it's all this finger pointing. The healing that needs to take place is one, yes, I do feel mirrors have to happen where we have to kind of help those who still are not mission focused, because I have to always be in the leading role. And I have to heal those who are not in the mission focused, right? And then be an example of what it really means to protect the environment and overall, which is those staffs who we're speaking about. It's not about our ego and the miscommunication. That was not mission focused. The mission focused is, how do we pay our staff? What do we need to do? The noise of how we feel and someone not telling us something, that was besides the point. The mission is, how do we pay our staff? What's the correct communication? Let's get to the point. That's it. Done, right? And then giving. We're always giving, but also receiving. So this is understanding the flow of the energies, and how we have to kind of constantly find that balance within each environment we're in. So, and then also what motivates you and brings you joy. And so this is always a constant focus within our souls and in our lives of what motivates us. What makes you wake up? Like understanding what motivates. And I want to point out you, right? What motivates you? We can't have outer things of our lives to be the drive, even though they are the things that drive us, our purpose. So whatever it is that brings you joy, to get up in the morning and say, I can do this, I feel great doing this. You know, motivation should just be life itself, and this experience within this journey, because this is a journey in itself, right? This is a journey that only you're experiencing and not many. And then redefining many experiences and coming to a deeper awareness of our participation. When you realize and you come to awareness and understanding and accountability that you've been participating in every experience. Things have, again, you know how they say, things happen for you, not to you. And that understanding that is understanding that you've been participating in what's been happening for you. If you use that, the to you is the playing victim, meaning like you raise your hand and you'll be like, oh, I never participated in that. I never wanted that. We don't want a lot of things, but this is where consciousness shifts, right? And this is where the deeper relationship with ourselves has to also shift. So remembering that we are always participating is important. And then also, twins, the soul awakening, which is the consciousness around your soul's identity is happening along with the collective. So knowing that your consciousness of your identity is always happening, it's ever moving, and it gets challenged with every experience and once you come to that awareness of your own consciousness, that you are, anything in your outer world is a reflection of your consciousness, then you start to take more accountability and understand your participation in that role and in that experience. So twins integrate sooner and before the collective. So ease the frequency so we tend to ease the frequency in doses that are manageable. So we help the collective when we transmute these energies before the collective, which is why you guys may feel it. Do know that you are easing the frequency in doses, right, for it to be manageable for the collective. So we first have to learn, understand, transmute them within us. So the question is, but where is your consciousness? So understand that the transmuting, the learning, the understanding, the transmuting within us has a lot to do of where your consciousness is in the moment. And so if wherever that consciousness is in the moment is what you're going to be a mirror and what you're going to transmute, it's going to shift in that dose. And so that is, again, being in awareness. So now let's get to these cards. I know, feminines, this is a long, before we even get to the reading, it is what it is, because this is about the journey. And you guys know I do this once a week. But this channel message came up very strongly, and I had to share. And I do feel it may be to be continued going forward. Okay. So, all right, masculine energies in the DF, masculine energy happening in the divine masculine right now. What our masculines are embodying. And I love that we got divine masculine. Discover and faith. I mean, talk about strong masculine energy here. You know, masculines are present and they are in their energy, whether you see it or not. But DMs are discovering themselves and learning how to increase their own faith in this world where they feel very small at times. And that example I just gave you of my boss, where I'm sure the fact that he took a step back and just apologized and didn't bother, it also probably was, and as an empath, really felt a moment of smallness, because I also saw how he reacted. And it was like he was caught off guard with the communication he wasn't informed that was given to other staffs, and how he just took 100% responsibility for it, because he just, in that moment, you can see that he did not want to make the decision of having to make it a thing, because we just had to get through this stage of holidays and just understanding, and then just get past it. And so there was this, that energy of how you are in the world, and then like where they feel very small at times. I have to be empathic, because I'm sure he felt very like, this is, out of my control. It is what it is. Miscommunication. We just need to fix it. Let's get through it. And then the masculine energy in the feminine, this is what came out first. Guarded came out first. Guarded, balance, charming, and bondage, you guys. I mean, could this not look more feminine than anything? And I'm gonna tell you what this is, which is feminines. It is what it is. You have to. This is. I mean, do you see this? If we're calling masculine energy, we'll go back to this. But DF guarded, needing to find balance and to focus on the 3D aspect of their divine masculine, release the bondage. So there's this charming, I also feel like this is the divine masculine. This is a dreamy stage, a bondage to this dreamy image idea of your masculine. This balance, we have a masculine and a feminine. The balance, the guardedness, and the balance within our own masculine and feminine energies needing to be focused here. This focus, this bondage of what you think your 3D masculine is where the feminines are out of touch. And I want to point out again, to understand what masculine and feminine energy is, right? So we're saying masculine is mission focused, planning, dear God, planning, leading, decision making, supporting, protecting. I mean, this is strong masculine here with discovery and faith. There's a lot of discovering, so they're focused on their energy because it's very masculine. The feminine aspect of here is the faith, right? Because now it's because their emotions are probably challenging them, but it's still a discovery place, and it's about the self and their life and how they look and what they look like, how to grow their life, their 3D, because masculines are always about how to protect the world, how to protect the environment, how to protect their life, how to protect their family, how to protect, it's so many things that are thought of and challenged. And, and in all of this, they feel small. In all of this, it's always a need to find strong faith that they have to kind of find it within themselves. If there's no balanced feminine energy giving them support, right? Support. And so here we have the feminine with the guardedness, which is out of balance, right? If you're guarded, then that means your heart is closed, and the bondage of an illusion, because this charming masculine, and again, gender aside, you guys, but this charming energy of you being either hopeless romantic or just this idea of always needing a connection to balance you, that's a balance you need to find within yourself. And this is why I said this was going to be triggering, because it is the challenge of the feminines, that void. This bondage is towards the void of needing something to make them feel safe, right? Until then, always have guarded masculine energy. Guarded, you guys. And so that's where the distorted feminine comes in, right? So when the masculine energy, what's the balance of so the balance of the masculines, right? Mission focused, but here you need to be love focused. You're guarded. Your heart is closed. You're not going to be expressive. You're not going to be magnetic. The intuition's going to be off. The softness is gone, and it's not really a healing space because it's in a bondage yet, tied up, out of balance, and you're not going to be receptive. So this is everything out of balance with the masculine energy within, which creates the distorted feminine energy within. Makes sense? And that's how the balance has to operate between the two. All right, so let's see what the major arcana shift for the masculine spirit. What is the major arcana shift for the masculines? Celebration, which is the star. This is a wonderful time in your life. Difficulties fall away, and the light at the end of the tunnel is a star you can wish upon. The timing is right to make long-term plans for a joyful future. Have faith that things are going to turn out beautifully. And that's how the spirits say. So this is a discovery where the masculines are definitely embodying masculine energy, trying to find ways to have faith, right? Have faith that things will turn around. It's a discovery space. So it's an alignment, and it's the star. So this isn't a soul alignment, right? It's a soul alignment within the masculine right now. And they're embodying a soul alignment right now. So what is the major arcana for the feminines? Major arcana for the feminines right now. Major arcana shift. Sorry, feminines. Chariot. Be open to success, feminines. And again, open. We have guarded here. It's time to be open. And Chariot is also very masculine energy, but it's also yin and yang, right? So the Chariot, normally you see the yin and the yang, shadow and light. So look at all the wonderful things you can do when you listen to your divine guidance. You've balanced so many different priorities and have come out a winner. There will be a lot of recognition and praise headed your way, but don't be shy. Allow others to shower you with gratitude you deserve. So this is a lot of being open. What I'm getting from that is being open, right? Because this is where you increase your confidence level, right? Owning up the actual balanced masculine energy and not shying away, because this energy makes you shy away from the things you've actually accomplished. And so what I'm getting from this is it's an off focus. Like, feminines just need to refocus and be more grateful to where they're at. I want to point out the Tower here as a mutual energy, out with the old, in with the new, right? And so heaven is showing you a sign that it's time to move in a new direction. Often this is because you're not happy and feel a lack of purpose in your life. This is a wake-up call to make changes that match your heart's desires and spiritual truth, which is what all the channel messages were, right? Everything about soul alignment, heart awakening, deepening relationship to self, and soul awakening, right? So everything about what your heart desire and your spiritual truth. This is about authenticity that is needing to be experienced now. All right, so let's see. Actually, I want to pill Soul's Grown here, Spirit. So what is the soul's transition for the masculines? What is the soul transition for the masculines right now? What is the main energy? Heart opening. Anhata is the energy of love within you. Opening the heart chakra fills you with love, forgiveness, and compassion. So obviously the masculine's heart is opening, and they're learning to obviously grow their faith, come out from a place of just such a great, because that's really where the masculine's usually closed, right? So Spirit, what is the transition for the divine feminines? I'm going to put this back because I'm going to be very clear and concise. Divine feminines transitions right now. It's too many, but I'm going to take them. Intensifying. A circumstance has come to the surface and must be addressed. Breakthrough. You have found a solution that can transform your situation. Your hard work and perseverance has finally paid off. And soul awakening. I mean, feminines, these are breakthroughs both twins are experiencing. And honestly, I hope you feminines made it this far to the readings to see why the channel message had to come the way it did in the beginning of the read, but again, I know I only have my few who follow me, and I honestly think this is a test to real divine feminines who actually want to transition their lives and really understand the divinity of the connection and its connection to source and the impact of what it does to your own soul. So Spirit, what is the main energy here for the masculines? What is the main energy for this prayer? Faith. I mean, again, confirmation where the masculines are. It's all about prayer and faith and discovering. So your angels and spirit guides have seen your struggles and are urging you to pray for guidance. The divine can only guide you when you specifically ask for their help, and ask and you shall receive. So definitely experiencing a lot of challenging ways to their faith right now. So what is for the feminines? What is the transition for the feminines right now? Important message. Gratitude. I mean, feminines, seriously. Thank you. I mean, this is what I was telling you, feminines. This energy really feels that you have to find gratitude in where you're at right now. So practice gratitude. Take 1 moment a day to think about the things and people you are grateful for in your life. When you have grateful heart, things will multiply and more grateful blessings will be coming your way. Be thankful for what you already have. And that's what I'm saying, this bondage of this energy that it feels like I don't have this, I don't have that. The focus is off. It's off. It's completely off, and it needs to be aligned, and it has to come from a place of gratitude here. All right, so let's see the energy of the masculine spirit. What is the energy for the masculines? Man holding a coin, and that's a lot of stability. That's like the King of Pentacles here. What about the energy for the feminines? Just one spirit. Energy for the divine feminines. Indecision, feminines. And that's the out of balance. And then mutual energy, I love it. Journey, and it's the 11 card. Because this is a journey. Again, individual journeys. Masculines are standing extremely strong within their energy, and feminines are needing to find that balance and really become decision. Like masculine energy is strong with decision. It's not, when it comes to decisions, that's where your masculine energy needs to feel confident. And the confidence, I feel, is a little off here for the feminines. And that's why things are really intensifying, right? Consciousness around your soul's identity. You are joining others at a part of massive global awakening and this breakthrough, right? You have found a solution that can transform your situation. Your hard work, perseverance has finally paid off, and things are just intensified. So the many towers that maybe you're experiencing, feminine, and I want to say that the example I gave of the story was one of my towers, right? And really knowing how to find the gratitude still in the space that I was in, and making a decision in that moment of how I was going to align my consciousness, because this is about my consciousness mirroring back to me how I wanted that that situation to transmute from that moment and on, right? And so that was going to energetically, how I responded was going to have a direct correlation to what the experience was going to be after. So if I responded negatively and took offense to it and was guarded, right, then I would have probably had a bigger issue with my boss and the repercussions of the relationship going forward. And I wasn't trying to have that, because it doesn't make sense. So this is the decisions you're constantly needing to make on a day-to-day about how we're aligning with our soul and our consciousness, and how our consciousness is really identifying and mirroring back to us where we're at and how we've shifted and how we've aligned ourselves. So Spirit, what is the guidance for the masculines right now? What is the guidance for the masculines? Wow, they have be of service. What is the guidance for the masculines? And that's really masculinity. So masculines are really being asked to embody strong masculine traits right now. Go for your dreams. Yeah, embody, like, be of service and go for your dreams and keep your commitments. This is a challenge. This is a challenge for the masculines, because they're learning how they're having to learn how to be of service. And the dreams is the discovery space that they're in, right? Discovery. And that space of, well, how am I keeping my commitments to where I really want to realign? It is a true heart awakening within them, because their heart is realigning them to their authenticity of their dreams, and learning how to be of service, one, to themselves, but how it's showing up and how it's reflecting in their commitments and how they keep the commitments to themselves and to those around them. And that's a big learning curve. All right, Spirit, give me the guidance for the feminines right now. What is the guidance for the feminines? Guidance for the feminines. Feminines, could you ever be? This is why feminines are never easy. Rejuvenate, yes. Nurture yourself first, become a clear channeler, and seek hidden treasures. And that's becoming clear is releasing that guardedness, right? You can't be a clear channeler if you're out of balance and you're too closed off and not being decisive, right? A clear channel knows what she wants, what he or she wants, but it has to start with nurturing yourself, releasing this bondage of the 3D masculine, of the focus, because the focus is off and it's not allowing for clear decisions. So this has to come from a place of bringing the attention back to yourself, becoming clear with your own channeling, your own communication to self, seeking hidden treasures, really yourself, rejuvenate. This is where when you rejuvenate your energy, take care of yourself, really come from a place of gratitude. That's where all the hidden treasures are, of how to realign yourself and become, that indecision goes away and you're more confident in the decisions you make. Yes, face your adversities here in the bottom, because this is about facing the truth, right? Consciousness around your soul's identity is happening now. facing these adversities of how the reflection of who you are and your consciousness is being faced back to you with your adversities, your challenges, your whether it's a challenge within your thoughts, whether it's a repeating pattern, like something's happening and you say, I'm tired of this always happening to me. That's not taking accountability. That's too much guardedness, in the sense of, it's easy for me to just project versus me take responsibility and say, I'm done with this adversity. I'm going to make a change. And the way that change is going to happen is how I respond. And so that is just a decision that feminine, you guys have to make, right? And it's just ownership, pure ownership. All right, so let's pull real quick some psychic guidance, some messages from the tarot here, Spirit. So give me more energies here on the masculines. I know this reading is long, but I had to do this, feminines. This is what it is. All right. Give me the masculine's energy right now. What is in the minds of the masculines? Shadow, moon. Yep. Give me more on the energies of the masculines. Beautiful. And we've got the moon, which is the discovery, fulfillment of wishes, which is their emotions, their heart. Emotions are the heart. Everything is about the emotions, heart awakening, what makes them happy. And finally standing their ground, right? Where they keep their commitments, going for their dreams. This is very strong, discovery space, lots of shadow work, and having to grow faith, again, within their emotions and realign themselves. Finding the little joys within. It's also long-term plans, like making long-term plans, standing their grounds to what their plans are. Whatever these dreams are, it is a planning stage. And there you go. Masculine, again, shows up. Divine masculine, the bottom. Let's see what's going on with their feminines. What else for the divine feminines, please, Spirit? What is going on in the minds of feminines? Again, the self, we're always in the nines. I don't know if you guys have been watching these reads. So we have wisdom, which is the Hierophant, the crown chakra, and the sun. And then we have in the bottom the material harvest, which is the 9 of Pentacles. Independence. This is, again, finding independence. Feminines, you know how many times this card comes out for us? Like, this is a constantly learning how to find that independence. Again, learning to love yourself. That's really what it is in a 3D. To bring all these emotions, these guardedness, and learn to love the space within yourself first, physically, because this is however you show up for yourself in the outer world. Again, your consciousness is what's going to be mirrored back. But let's point out here with the Hierophant and the crown chakra and the light. And again, the Hierophant has a lot to do with conventional thinking. So again, it has to do with the consciousness. Your consciousness has to continuously change with your spiritual growth. And that's constantly going to bring realignment within your crown chakra. You have to constantly be in the space of realigning yourself, your consciousness, your mind. And there is with the sun, illumination. This is pure illumination of what's holding you back. Hierophant is a number 5, which is the change, right? I always look at the numbers of the of the major arcanas, and then you look at the minor arcanas. So what's the 5s in all the minor arcanas, right? 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, and 5 of Cups. It's like the changes, all the emotional changes, all the physical changes, all the changes within our soul, our mind. And that's what's happening, an illumination. And this is a challenge because this is a pure consciousness, life reflecting back. The light, the sun is reflecting back where you are at within your 3D world in this independence. And 4 of Cups, there goes the 4. This is a realignment for you, and having to know to discern. Really, it's a difficult feminine sake. This is not easy to transmute, so please do not. Again, I'm feeling that, I'm speaking to grown folks here, not the emotions need to be received here. I am a feminine who is here caring about you, but I'm also very healthy in my masculine energy. And this makes a lot of sense to me here, even in a masculine energy. All right, so let's see. I want to clarify. Give me more on this moon, Spirit. Give me more on the moon here for the masculines. Deception and strategy, right? And this is making changes to where they've been like a rediscovering, where they've been kind of lacking in their life, where they've been lying to themselves with the moon, like really redefining that. Give me more of this 9 of Cups. Wow. You know what? I'm going to leave this. Look what came out. Ace of Cups. 9 of Cups. With 9 of Cups, which is their wish fulfillment. This is love and initiation. This is finding, again, their dreams, what makes them happy, the self. The 9 is the Hermit. This is inner wisdom within that space. They're in the 9 of Cups. You're in the 9 of Pentacles. And again, heart awakening, right? So this is definitely speaking to them on a heart level of where they also been neglectful with this moon energy of what really makes them happy, you know, increasing their faith, rediscovering this space. Give me more on the stand your ground. Oh my goodness. Magician, yes. I'm loving this masculine energy, you guys. Manifestation tools. I mean, could they not be in this creating? The stand your ground, the 7 of Wands to me is always optimism here. And this is needing to find optimism. Give me more of this, keep your commitment. I'm sorry, what was the other card? Oh, the masculine. Here we go. I'm like, where did the other card go? Spirit, give me more on this divine masculine energy then. Confirm me the divine masculines, because they're so present here today. 10 of Wands, heavy burdens. So they're facing it. I mean, this is the end of a cycle for them. And look at that. Then the Hierophant, spiritual advisement. So faith, again, faith with the masculines. You guys have the Hierophant. They're also being challenged in their faith. There's a lot of burdens and transitions, which is why they're in this 7 of Wands and trying to really bring about the change. Wheel of Fortune in the bottom. It is a shift, and that's been coming up for some time. Last week, it was a lot of closing cycles, and that still stands with the Fool and the Magician, the One. All right, so for you, feminine spirit, give me more on this Hierophant here. 3 of Swords, yep. 3 of Swords in the Star, universal alignment. Again, conventional thinking, stuck energy. 5s can be very stuck, feminines. This 3 of Swords, the emotions, the guardedness, right? The out of balance within the masculine and feminine energy. This has a lot to do with the emotions being intensified. And so in this space, you know, this is just understanding that source is realigning you. This is a universal alignment. So don't take the energy, understand if once you come to an understanding and being in a place of gratitude of what each transitions are in your life, you won't get stuck. You won't get stuck again. You'll know how to transmute this much quicker. Be in this Magician energy and be like, listen, this is something, you know, that I have to face, which is the example I told you, right? Where I could have taken my boss personally, where he was like, oh, how dare he says to me, I'm condescending. You know, in his perception, that's what he experienced. But I know that's not true, right? That's just a perception. And so he also is learning, is in a space of learning me. So like I said, I have to be in this space where there is an understanding of there's room for growth for the both of us. Spirit, give me more on this crown chakra here for the feminines. Knight of Wands, passionate adventure, feminines. And so I feel this is, again, this need to rekindle things with your masculine, the focus. What I will point out here, yep, healing and recovery. So healing this energy is important. The past, the way you've given of yourself, I feel, in the connection. and really allowing that to transmute, this recovery stage of transmuting that. I want to see what's in the bottom. Yep, breakthroughs and awareness. And isn't that what we just had? Yeah, we had breakthrough already, right? The Ace of Swords here. So there's a lot of awareness of where your focus has been. And so again, this breakthrough is to recognize your where your consciousness, right? Where your thoughts are, where your mind is going constantly. And so this is where you get to transmute this energy of how you've been applying that passion. And also it's Knight of Wands, so taking action within your own adventures, the things you want in your life. Again, 3D aspects, stabilizing. Wow, King of Pentacles shows up, and I was just going to say that, stabilizing your life. Spirit, give me more of the Sun. Beautiful. And here you are, Empress. Because and I love how strong you both showed up here. You guys, we don't have any other core cards. We literally have Divine Masculine and the Empress here. You show up here because this is a clarity for you to elevate you, to get a clear mind and to open yourself up, because nothing hides under the sun. And I always say that. Nothing hides on the sun. And coming to that understanding and embodying that feminine energy that can heal, because the sun heals. You know, the sun illuminates, and the sun is always, it's always bright. So this is about brightening your life and shifting that focus. Spirit, give me more of this Nine of Pentacles, please. And there goes that romantic gesture again. It's like that Nine of Cups, that charming energy. But I really feel this is a healing of your heart, and I love it. Fool, and there goes that Fool. So we know from, I feel like this is a lot of confirmation from last week's energy with all the 10s, the 1s, and the 0s. And this is about really reigniting your emotions, healing yourself, finding fulfillment within yourself, and freeing yourself. It's also that activation here. And this call, the Fool, is called activation. So this is the activation of healing. And this also is the gratitude card here, of just finding gratitude with what you have on a physical level in your 3D life. And then really, because the Knight of Cups is emotions, this is just, I feel, really a generosity to you on a physical level, so you can continue to activate your own soul and align, because this is, remember, it's a projection. Your 3D is a projection of your own generosity to you and how you nurture this space. And that's really how the feminine embodies, you know, the shifts. All right, we're just going to close this with one message for each, and I think that's it, because I had other things I wanted, but I knew this was going to be a long read because it was very important here, feminines. All right, Spirit, so what is the guidance for the masculines right now? Change. You are transforming. Let go of the past. Embrace the light and joy of this new day. Beautiful. And then they have happiness. Yeah. Immense delight can be found in the smallest of things. Cultivate fluttering moments of joy. And this is just change and trying to find, you know, that space within themselves where they can be happy. Remember, they have the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So this is about emotional fulfillment. Now, give me the guidance for the feminines. What do we have for the feminines? Okay, Spirit. Confidence. Yes, feminines. I mean, that all of this is where that confidence needs to come in, bringing this attention back to you, being clear. So be bold, and this is strong masculine energy. Be bold, rise up and stand tall. Find the fire in your soul. This is about bringing that attention back to you. What's in the bottom? Destiny. Yep. Acknowledge your mission. Align your purpose. You have gifts to share with the world. This is about being bold within you and bringing the attention to the outer world, not that small focus on the masculine. That's it. That needs to be done with. So I'm going to leave it right there, feminines and masculines. I love you. Thank you if you made it this far. I appreciate you. I know this is a difficult journey, but it's also important to be honest and authentic and truthful. And I could not do these reads if I wasn't in that space. So I am grateful for you all. So thank you always for supporting my channel. And this is obviously a to be continued due to the length of the reading, and just too much was coming out, and I wanted to say more, but I can't. So we're just going to leave it at that, because I know this is a lot of information to process. But please like, share, subscribe, click that bell button if you enjoy my frequency. But with that said, live always relentlessly in striving aspiration. This is the evolution of your soul, and I'm here to nurture you. Until next message. Bye.